semi there in sunsan so I wo ede my ye besan bisa ebedwafo enwumbre na wachirem ede amayen se Ghana for anamon I was set yetu efa esa domestic debt restructuring program yetu finance minister eda tudwa se dodo a na ye hwehwe po yenya ede abrosa enti yenyina no na eyade a yayade eboye nsem emaye ho se itimi across that mark. But the second leg IMF enkita hudi ayede no se wona woye amanone fo nso so ayede won ka no onso so kana yede won no kwan ben ene ebefa so ayebe restructure sakai empo ehun akohia se kanu bi kura mpo dodo san ena obetumi eri achen na ehun akohia se yene Germany mpanyimfo edi ensawo so na won so otumi boyen na ye reach out to China na ye na China for obetumi aye edi amayen Germany ambassador to Ghana na wochi wakasa Ninsem no ochirem say there's no free lunch anywhere and China for kita hodie no ensem ewom kakra and ebeba krampo enye easy. It will come with some conditions. Germany for the shisheye ebeba and also so will come with some conditions. And paying for a banyumbre and paying for our dare ewo sansem yebe bisa no watch and say so far yen shisheye ayede call IMF wonsem saying ena eno nso so akɔwie ɛfa titro ene ye external eye creditors no honsem ɛtesen na the krakra no na ye hwɛ sɛ NDC for sesen wabue eye akwan ede ato hwan ne hwan ena pick form so far na race no hwɛ asen ena ebekro of course ansa na ebesori dwumadie so na wadwenkyerɛ ususie ne wasem bisa na ode aba ne yakenkan Eddie amount. Send us a WhatsApp or a text message. It was 0550 596 929. That is 0550 596 929 or 0550 567 929. Any of these lines, just send us a text or a WhatsApp message. Na yendri Ghana ho enyumbre. Elder Peter Tepe, a policy and financial expert, or her enyumbre. Mr. Thomas Kusibuafo is the CEO for Public Sector Reform of her enyumbre. Solomon and Cancer, former National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, bah enyumbre. Ye talk to again, Ediafa sa and semi and Hona. Wajun show Susie no Simbisano at St. John's. A text or a WhatsApp message meeting at the Ohene Gyan lawyer. Thank you, and I'll say thank you too.
Lawyer, thank you.
Okay, so Sunday Medicain Akano Elder Edicain Ewo Studios. Elder Benwaju.
Pacho Mejoso.
Ebusan for want to say.
Yamena do mubia hon ye pa.
Da pom ensese.
Yetiase ni kwa dia adomara kwa.
Ye do bo ade ase. Bidim say we ni edi Nigeria for one about to awoto and we need the echire kakra.
Pacho na ma follow omo elections no prior to today no and no ma follow kakra hu niama ekoso wo ho na I think say in all no mo ye I think 18 candidate omo pre 17 or 18 or so no omo pre omampenyi Kunya no na 3 main candidates na omo ye front runners na it's like there's a winner based on analysis and research a course wa omo ma yeti as no it was expected say there would be some serious upset ewo Nigeria na within the West Africa region no Nigeria I mean wo African ankasa no economy to say Nigeria no you can't take them out inti say BBC wo Nigeria whether we like it or not, it will affect the entire African continent, because you have the biggest economy, in the region. Necessary, whatever happens there also affect you. According to say the America of the world, Nigeria to Uber Africa, almost no mudi mu pa inti ya bompa ye say bibia be koso ewo asomdwe mu a abatoɔ no bɛwie na economy no ebe kono nim ti sɛ na nyina ye hwehwɛ. But we have to know say whatever happens in Nigeria has impact on the sub-region, and Ghana especially can take itself out. And so we pray that asomdwe ebeba eno ani de ehia ye.
Over 87 million eligible voters. 87 million people have the right to vote.
Yes.
In this election. Yeah, the population you 35 million. That's a serious business.
Very, very serious business. Very, very serious. I mean, anything Oshia in P APA if you say Oshia ni padodoa omukoko to aba ni resources I was say mobilize na niama koso afi so Oshia security issues war Nigeria nso a eyade a ehia mpaibo apart from say physical structures on be put in place no ehia mpaibo because nipa 87 million. I mean Lagos crampo mo population does no change the whole of Ghana.
Eda so me best see na ya to adwuma die so yenko line so na ye ne journalists wo Nigeria akinde entwetwe nkomo enwumbre. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ghana.
Hello, Akinde, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm on. Good evening.
Oh, okay. Good evening to you. So far, how has the elections? If you monitored the elections so far, how has been the conduct, the general conduct of the elections?
All right. So far, so good. So far, so well. The election has been peaceful. Especially most of the places where election took place today. Actually, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the election has been relatively peaceful across board.
Oh, okay, so in terms of the turnout, what would be how would you describe the turnout? Was it a turnout that was low, appreciable? How would you describe the turnout?
Well, the turnout in some area was not encouraging. The turnout was low, but that cannot justify every polling unit. But in some places, the turnout was very encouraging. While most places, the turnout was not that good enough.
Now, counting has started already.
Yeah, something like counting has started already. Every vote must be moved to the Federal Capital Territory, which is the headquarters of Nigeria, which is Abuja. But also from the polling unit, result as they announced, and most people in different polling units already receive their seats from polling units.
Okay, so what has been one of the hallmark of this election has been the man Peter Obi. People are expecting that he is going to pull a surprise after the conduct of the elections. Are there indications whether something dramatic is about to happen in Nigeria for the first time?
This is election. Election is virtually different from social media. Election is politics is done locally grassroots. Election is not won on social media. So the surprise that people are seeing now is as a result of how people play politics across the world. As we have been seeing on social media, why some people are shocked by the result that is coming out. There is a saying that how you lay your bed determine how you are going to lie on it. So nobody can say this election has been rigged so far because it was done electronically.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Your campaign locally determine what I'm going to say today. So for those that are surprised, their outcome, the outcome of what they have done is what we have seen. This is just to tell people across Africa that election is not won on social media.
Okay. It says this is an indication to the people in the whole world that elections are not won on social media, as say agro any firm. So we'll continue to monitor the elections. Kinde, who is a journalist from Nigeria, was the one that we spoke to. Yeah, then as he said, I'm repom yebesign and then no attraction and como 8 beam. Elder, what's ye Akinde for the all Kenya and say abato no shasie nipa dodo na wo so to abana enya kwenya ato wona aba awie so far no de bibia ekọ senia ewo se kro oguso a walking kan a wo hwe ni mu se san ene be kọ akọwie mebisa no se na o hwe turn out tonight say o si o turn out no na eye amanfo I was wope pass obeto aba no de dodo na no ekọ ese wokọ akoto wonaba na mebisa no se eye panyi a afiwe no din aba bonten pa eye Peter Obi na Peter Obi din aba bonten no so hwe se ufa na ade ebetumi akofa ensachirae bi ede aba eye abato no mu ana osiyo na etie ne se abato no yento ewo social media na agro anyfam enti no se ebewie bia na yentwen na yenhwe senia yekenkan aba no wie a ebekọ enti yebetwen na yahwe se yekenkan aba no wie a sen na ebekọ ewo Nigeria so far we wait patiently na yahwe se sen na Nigerian elections no ebekọ ewo Nigeria na eho enframa so ebo wo Ghana yesu siafa Peter na wa Elder na wa no gusa na woka about one population no.
On population no share idea election no share dodo na ekwakoto aba 87 million people are more registered so beto aba no share echese ejuma kese pa na ewo ho na sana journalist ne kan ye no ampa sisia share niama ekoso especially in politics no popularity doesn't necessarily win you a vote, and because sisia no amount for more discerning nipa to me drink ko echi if say education inti nimdiaba inti so be ewo hona say bia our marketing skills and all or nimse na yeka asem ana otumi market bibia obetima ye hu dede akoti say oton edro obetima ye edro no hu dede sa nanso nipa na omoto edro no nom no ase edro no nya bi enye ejuma ma omo a obeye dede ni se den obekọ dwom na so nton niama nti omo onum edro no nim edro kra eyema no nti ampa ebu betumi aye dede wo hwe analysis na ekoso na wo hwe build up to the election ni dia Peter Obi na oyobi ananka he was highly tipped because he came all of a sudden and he's became so popular but
the youth factor the young Cameroon say young people what Nigeria no and two edinachi a say Labour Party no there na obetimi this time round to break a duopoly between APC and PDP no. Yeah.
It's very true. Sure. PDP and APC, I mean, they are very strong on the ground. And so for any third force to come and then pull a surprise, it's very difficult, especially in such a huge, political landscape of 87 million. Now, of course, all over the world, no, the youth population, no, ratio now. I mean, who said the population is growing at that stage. Now, the woman say essence forming a government, no, it requires a lot. And there are so many factors that will be considered. And even though we will make the noise, people will go and talk about it, follow, but on the day they will call boot no more. On the vote more than anything. The politics here. I will say you must be psychologically, prepared to withstand every shock. And so for me, I am expecting still a win from either of the two major parties, that is either PDP or APC. But Peter Obi not pulling a surprise will be a very serious upset if it happens. It will be a serious upset if that happens. Even though we expect that he will pull some quite sizable number of votes. Ukaya, Ghana, I mean, in the 2004 election or so, a PPP buyer, everybody was expecting, say, Papa Kwesindom, Obe police surprise. After the election now, everybody was surprised at the votes that he got. Meanwhile, the youth were energized, following him, and people were expecting, say, this is a third force. Unfortunately, and the aftermath of that election has, brought the motivation down completely because everybody was shocked at the outcome. And that is how it is. People will make the noise. That's what I'm saying. Popularity does not win votes because the people who are going to vote, they know who they want. And they've already made up their mind. Into politics, it is not one on social media. Into media, they are here and say, and I'm happy to say so far, we have not heard of any serious infractions. Now, you hope say, once the elections, the counting has started, and then finally the declaration. We hoping say that is how it will be.
Omo say by Tuesday, now final results be ready. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, by Tuesday.
In fact, I would say by Monday, we will see who will be in the lead exactly. By then, now home from a baby ama will be able to say, okay, say na dene ekoni, but indeed is going to be an interesting election outcome for us, and it is going to, show. How the election is going to be in the sub-region as well, depending on how this election goes. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe say, who wins? Benya and Susan Sobi may have an impact on our elections home in Ghana. Sir, who be bisa maybe sir question no quickly.
Lawyer, thank you.
Hey, Solo
International man.
Yes,
sir.
Now move to say.
Boko.
Unya no.
Oh, Minya. And when you bet an can or some coy. I answer a gun and Yamu. There was so much. It's our. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Boko there.
Oh, Boko.
A quick one. Who monitor Nigerian elections so far, so what?
It kind of me, Chia. Kessben TV Ashafo ne one ma. Wash and as a word or different social media handles. Na Yama Nigeria for initial stage of Ayuko. Election year, one of the elections are now month for Fizenka. On election day, a lot of violence will happen because of some issues I take it, but the election seemed to have gone on peacefully. We are now in the collection period. Ya bompa say enkoso jojojo na post result declaration so asumje embra Nigeria Africa West Africa big brothers omunya problem spill over no enye easy ma other neighboring countries nti yempa say bibia be fine.
Oh, okay. Now, quick one, elder. Some other business. Ebia can say Nigeria being the big brother, monitor share say whether say incumbents be retaining and as opposition be and as there will be a third force whatever. Ebia enya e won so bi e wo yen yaba to ayeto e wo Ghana won bi bisa.
Historically now. That win no na sana na ekono na especially for this particular times woman it is a very difficult time for all ruling government and until the government have become unpopular across the globe, especially in Africa, and so if it didn't go the ruling government way, it will be a strong signal to the other countries almost will prepare for election. Now, it will be obvious, say, of course, looking at the times we are in, ruling parties, it will be a very tough one for them to win elections. And of course, because of historic antecedent. So yes, how election goes in Nigeria, depending on the situation on the ground, definitely, we can also say politicians normally do campaign. Say this is what happens in this area. So I can say yes. How depending on how election be in Nigeria, a better signal. Say this is how then the elections coming up so ebeba in the end we can't take it out. We can't take it out at all. It is a reality.
Solo Zana
apt discussion elder Diabano, but there's a dimension to it now. Unlike 2019, where it was a straight fight between Buhari and Atiku. This time around, opposition seems split in Obi and then Atiku. So, if care is not taken, now the two of them, it take the largest chunk of the opposition votes, equal size. The government may pass through with Tinubu, and that is where if care is not taken, it will be a disadvantage to some of us who are in opposition in Ghana who wish that the governing party loses so that we enjoy the
so more Bompa is opposition no ever winner on Nigeria.
Yes.
Mompaya mo
now the windfall political activity. When it happens, you are good to go with that analysis, that trend. Whatever that you say, you link it to look at Nigeria, what has happened, and that says that Nigerians are voted against a incumbent. How much more Ghana and because you're returning incumbent and what have you. That is my fear because there are two strong opposition contenders.
Okay, so we'll take advice from the late Professor J.E.A. Mills. May he so rest in peace. So now we move away all the way from Nigeria, then we'll come back to Ghana. We are home. Let's talk Ghana now. Yeah, what's your democracy? Jumadi so Kessben and you bring your Jing or my Ghana home. Say and a dema echo. You heard about to echo so Nigeria. We also coming home to look at what is happening in Ghana. But I'm saying no quickly no men call line one na many opinion we Michael Nkitianchuchi enkomo nyumbre. Mr. Egeti out men come mwajo.
Opinion patro mejo so.
na umpom etisɛn.
Yami adome hoye pa.
Okay, Mr. Michael K. Nketia is an international relations and political expert. Yembisano on Nigeria's election. No, he has a depth of knowledge and has expertise. Na Pacho, Nigeria about 2 years what did you actually pa?
I'm Pacho ma follow the pa for the past 18 months. Yeah, follow the pa.
Ukasa yen ya follow ni ye pa na wo kan hemfo.
Me name team bia bibintimi for mudin to jabet. Na ya research kakra. Yeah about elections. Our a big West Africa. Any issues of insecurity. The teach you why of course Nigeria mamuno. Am I in a keen interest? Our elections are of course Nigeria anymore. Bese abusumi dumotwini de ye DHC na yesua no ma bebre so afiri.
Efri abra post no ehya ebesi sabre ya akona wiye a ya hya ye collate results assessment no ebeye sen.
Well, the kind of way about na it was hugely anticipated say any padom no ani titu mabunu Nigeria mamu no omodo omo bejimu yie entini ye hwese voter turnout no ebekọ so yie papa we share about 93 million registered voters ni padodo are registered so omoto abano over almost 80% of them they fall within the age bracket of India from 18 to 46. Meaning say in padodo no a perform ye mabunu entina mabunu enam your friends social media aba and what we call say revolution there a person cost in Nigeria no ye who pise ebema voter turnout on our cost ye nemo adia have voter turnout ye a kura friends INEC another independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria no omo ahoboboa no atochima yi papa papa lawyer obi a woni Nigeria man ni mu ana so wakọ da ni say Nigeria your man bi a esuyi papa na aside the so no sanso na your man ya nipa edos mu yi enti o organize elections ama o man bi ti Nigeria ade a ese wa ho boboa no tutu yi na yi say ene no INEC na Electoral Commission of Nigeria mo ahobwa na nkoyi isan se ebo awia no mienu e Nigeria man ni mu no Nigeria yo man bi o mu lidi Ghana by 1 hour ebo no mienu no miensa na ba bi o hokra voting materials and I said normal ye dey conduct elections ni intini konkodru ehoyi sounds na ba bi mpo ai normal ni kodru ye no say Nigeria for I introduce a lot of technology in this election. Said the Ghana your biometric verification devices no. Also will be this and cry an advanced form of technology. Making sure say eliminated the offended voter fraud and identity fraud. Simple will be card air say Pabako, why card bear and so on so and chimami bisa or person kotua hakotu any be yamona. Verification processes no idea a cherry kakrentina mankrofo abob dumping polling stations ama about one na enkokoso ekodru ani na baby okra about one no manye dey enkodu yes so na yenya images of some polling centers state reference Lagos state and Lagos school no ankasa o reference Peter Obi a normal Labour Party no nso fo yin so what is a normal rate to change ba so about to papa issues of tax sebi nkrofo a yabo won pa ebi kura tu ebi kura ma na okoto abaye se yempene ma won to na obi a was study elections in various areas in Nigeria and the ekoso ne simple party A any party B is stronghold yemfa ne say party A in party B stronghold Lagos on about party macho men ne mrancho mbia kakabin semo kuguo to frustrate the process to destroy voting at your best say normal abon krufu said be ya nkrofo ntimi nkoto aba no ma opponent Sana, most of the parties area impo governor DBA or both a quiet beko Swami Akotwaba no Wetinia Kwako says Aquine Fedebea and Crofon Kotwaba Emani opponent. Remu and I am Moma Air Cost when idea since I'm about one home. I touch the most surprising aspect and it's all share about to cost when idea no candidates 17 are air contestant. Emu elipan nine ena sebi o share the ekoso na o be tinye din kuma na so mo be influence the outcome of the elections. The odi kan aye owura e friend Bola Ahmed Tinubu a ojina homa the ruling All Progressives Congress na afi your former vice president Owura Atiku Abubakar sanso na your owura friend say Rabiu Kwankwaso a ono wo Kano State oko Nigeria isrimu Mantamu Honma so na the new man on the block, a reference Peter Obi, the candidate of the Labour Party. Sa in the Pakuna and yen addition kakane research ayaye energy dahuna church umumu ba ko ne beti adi nkuni na if it's about one course so any results are asha say ba ma ye monitor bi e wo ya no kakra netimi aka fa ho no say is promising to be a two-horse race between Owura friends Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Owura friends Peter Obi. Now the one we ye kakra say Owura friends Tinubu a we normal ruling APC no why governor e Lagos State in the early 90s so no a senator e Lagos State and a yirimpo SIS senator e Lagos and I say I can say member of parliament. Now papa and now influence because we the governor e Lagos State for 2 terms. Abraham no reference or Bassando Ayoman Penin, although he was an opposition candidate then, but he still managed to win. Or the governor of Lagos or will influence Lagos so yeah, inform about the idea when the chief successive governors no he basically answered them the machinations and a Boamo meeting baby governor. Lagos so to me and Kapapai obey police strongly. Of course, he's winning some. Lagos, but the one who say, "Oh, we are friends with Peter Obi." It's now my Labour Party. No, born who more papa. Lagos, so a stronghold. Emma, who we are friends with Tinubu. As a second, about Ghana, now it be the candidate of the opposition NDC, winning some seats or constituencies in Ashanti region, and also a Volta region, and the candidate of the NPP, winning constituencies or Volta region, which is quite surprising or against the status quo. And money idea kakra ekoso na enoma niensa any be decided outcome of this elections. Abani ya 2 years. Number 1, ye di kind omanyokuo a wobetena ho na ye abatoɔ no aho atɔkyema ɛwɔ wo stronghold na be affect you. Because abatoɔ no ho atɔkyema tɛ sɛ wo stronghold no wa mo wani anya den am ya ansha abatoɔ na sentem wotena ho mankrofo the macho men any Nanti be intimidate supporters na ebe come to when ama meto a ebe affect you papa. I think so another critical factor I be mean say ebe decided the outcome of the elections. They say Nigeria man no eyo man bi asabi paku o do so yi papa. Nigeria nkwa wokwa ethnic groups ewo ebro 250 ethnic groups. Now, aside 250 ethnic groups, no, Omokakasa who do be 500 languages. Now, Usha Omampania was this way, and the end to be free and Kuyana so. Aye Buhari no. Onon every Nigeria, the northern party, I can because it's Srimu Amantemo. Ono Fina, Uko Srimonwa, acquire house for any full and for the doors to ye papa. Now, Ubia Tabu, Yen. Abibraham Muslim and they are predominantly Muslim communities about wow movie them are the whole Nigeria about registered voters ma a whole Nipavigona register so mobeto abapa. Now the one say Buhari a victory and then Kunuma would do good like Jonathan so in 2015 not in 2019 no. Nina voter unyane kesiye pa every the northern parts of Nigeria. Process Owura Buhari and the ruling APC omo free so no betumi anya saa vote ni bi e aboa papa e fe Tinubu na mom de enwa kakra ni se ukosire mu ha former vice president also a candidate for the opposition PDP Owura Atiku Abubakar also free esire mu ho saa nso na Owura Rabiu Kwankwaso also a former governor of Kano state also free esire mu ho enti enya dia Owura Tinubu betumi enya all the votes in the northern part of Nigeria saa nso mpo na Owura Fense Peter Obi ono Igbo ni no so ono so ne running mate efiri esire mu ho enti ekwa akoye se esire mu ho Fulani ni Hausa Fulani bi no ansha na vote ni nyina ntiye nkwankuduru Owura Efreni se Tinubu ho na akwa akọboa ma Peter Obi to his advantage na ade nso eboboa Peter Obi ni se unse Nigeria bakosim na acheye papa yen share danya obi a ofri Igbo man ni mu a oba begi Nigeria man ni so nti enfie kakra ni no Igbo fo na ni abrese omonso hu ne se ebra so si enya obi oye Igbo ni ma ni babedi president na Owura Peter Obi a oye Igbo ni a ono so na oye former governor for Anambra State no wanya popular support among the youth and mabunu e Nigeria man ni mu a nanko kiye hwese Igbo fo no so betimi atododo pa amano e Igbo man mu na mo ade kakra nso e hagene ni se ebe mfie kakra ni atuatenom I from said the independent people of Biafra IPOB Owura ni friends Nnamdi Kanu edano an Nigeria bambofo ache na tumu no omonso share say Igbo man no enya some form of underdevelopment and say improvement or marginalization in Chad ya omo ti omo fi Nigeria man no na Igbo no ababaye oman on its own and reports are near picking say IPO before now be 2 year condition ade no na bi nso na nkrofo say mo mu piem koto aba enye side beti and we believe say society we consider the yansa kan na dia ebe ha Owura e friend Peter Obi ye papa because he was counting so much on votes aka ebe free Igbo state no ababe boamo but adiba konso a ebe ko ye ama Owura Peter Obi eye emabunu a wo mo university ahodo before you called me now I was monitoring the free University of Ibadan Eba now obesha Owura Peter Obi no ne critics e believe say Labour Party no dey no wan join in the sebe a party ketwa umuni structures our grounds at the grassroots ebetimi amana win a national election our Nigeria man but oko Ibadan University what is secretary about Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology vote on if you hold any na ya dey we Peter Obi when and supporters they were chanting say no structures meaning say papa no only structures for grounds info and all we need to any kokokunya structures it promises to be a very, very, very interesting elections in Nigeria. My only concern is issues of insecurity.
Okay.
And I think voting materials are could do the whether the Independent National Electoral Commission Bema Batono at so extra for baby or went to me and to abani baby materials they could do late and answer the afternoon the business were declared but for now Akwako 2-horse race based on results ever say and the answer Canada Akwako 2-horse race between Peter Obi and the Papa Friends Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Mr. Michael K. Nkisi Ebeda say results no eba here we will have time to do critical analysis of near course ne possible impact war ye domestic elections so ye be ye Ghana ha enenia ye beda say nwumbre brepam ye be san akasa biem yene Owura Michael K. Nketia, international relations and political expert on Nigerian elections and the na hwetwe nkomo enwumbre o my an update ni ayekoso ewo Nigeria respect to the general elections, presidential elections. Now back to the studio, back home. It's now 7:47. Our democracy, Jumadi, so Kessben, and Yumbre, Openi, Datepe, Ewo Hasa, Susona, Solomon, and Kansan, Ewoha, and Yumbre. Straight up, Mimbisa quickly 30 years of parliamentary democracy in Ghana. 30 years become parliamentary fourth republic. Doesn't say you can't 30 years of parliamentary fourth republic as the one that is reigning now. So far, so what? Mr. Asifri Elder House. So far, so what? See, a boy home what they pay. Nenso no be. So far, so what? Your general impression? 30 years of titro the parliamentary democracy.
Sir, Ushe Fourth Republic now. Esan say yet to me a comport ye who call elections a couple of times no. Let's just say ya boy your home body ye pa. Now baby ya don't see on the parliamentary side they say the winner takes all. I mean mentality no and a higher. What it means they say Ushe from 1992 to data apart from 2020 election no. Party a winning abattoir ewo man mu nyina no omonya absolute majority eno nti ama there was a parliament eye or play supervisory role on the executive no sinto aba ho nti uhwe ohawa Ghana ye kom sisi ana partly no is blame on our parliamentary supervisory role I will say you play. Now, Emma Omanga say who say in the past no budget a year born with him. To say NFA development programs a born with him, say loan, contract, agreement, bilateral agreement, no. Esan say a koye winner takes all a year absolute majority on the party a year power ninety. Scrutiny an analysis I was say komono en komusa into omanko say hu say niam bi koso a anka was so mutumi bi omuni ewo mu enti ade no ebobo afede yanka say hu say abobo abetia abeto ayankasa because ye hu say agreement bi a ye komu ena niam bi a ye a ye feel say ya ban na was 20 de be ba parliament bia no de aba no kwan bia be fa so a ye be push amana ko no e say ye push nti dodo na no ye nhye da ntinase afeso akoye say wo ruling party ni mu na say bibiba na wo pese wo sorry tua pe wo be dane atamfo ana enemy e wo wankasa wo party ni mu sa de no amboa ye kra amboa ye kra na Ushe 2020 elections na ye komu no ye na sena result ni koye no akoy say nyamianka say hu say ye parliamentarians over the years no sena nyama ko no embo man no nti kwan ya mefa so a mema Ghana for omo ho atom kakra no ananse nyama be koye kakra no mema election in kosa
nti we divine winner this 49.8% of parliamentary we about was 8 parliament but ususu say and also so etchen dem science ebi ni say NDC for ye vete presidential nominees mwakotra bet na say area mu wie ya party say mama to say na mo wait because of that mo say there enko ye approval process people have said say and no from that perspective.
Well, me who is entirely from that perspective. Ni say, on say a approval for nominee no a process. Into that process must follow through to the end. It is a one continue more. Na say one side pair. What would be done? So quality work na ye kano ye nya. Into a yes process no will follow. Eko pim pempenso a ye be hu say okay we de moye bi na de be sini de siye na wo hwe a hu say nansan no this is the first time parliamentarians omo ruling government ankasa etumi sorry oppose abaina omo ankasa party no omo gina so we parliament no omo tumi oppose niam bi a omo ye into hwe a Senate election koya na abɛboa rather in a sense how come a group of MPs majority, and I mean we had said the majority caucus say the finance minister, they were vouching saying I was say offer the juma to form and answer on resigning and answer on call. And I face so share commenter every omo ankasa eho eba na obo say afi de I was say nyama bi esesa kakra. Until some of them started talking about the size of government. Talking about government must look at its expenditure. In the past, you don't see this comment coming up. Until omo say who say dey bi yam ye ni o na ndi ye ewo ye juma ye ewo parliament na o hwe parliamentary work no difficult pa o o hihye mra o hwe niam mu na ejuma na nkasa no ekoso ewo the committee levels omo di niam ba mo anim omo tena se ehwe no ma kire ho report omo aye research na ema omo esanse niam no most of the time no minim de ntia ya no mo ye ne sa se edru time se omo ba be rise eko break no ana recess no then they pile up a lot of agreement and we share parliamentary business now we share business for the day now when they are getting to the end recess no then they pile up a lot of things so they don't even get time to analyze and that is where most of the agreement are signing ambo mine those are the areas ekoye say anka ye were absolute majority ti say na pass na anka agreement be mu to say ejapa anka by this time ya pass it da. These are some of the things that Maker said sa 2020 elections na ya no aboa ye papa if say sisia no both sides of the of the divide no who say enukre ehu hia say niama bi wo ho a ye nhwe mu yie in the interest of the nation and not in the interest of individuals. For me, I think say for the past 30 years, we have not done, poorly on the side of our democracy. Nemo, the supervisory role I would say play as parliament, a whole numna a conform kakra.
But as a messenger, baby, there is a 275. Is it okay for us? A population of 30 less than 35 million, and as a dorsum. ABC is okay. ABC we should cap it in your ceiling. ABC increase, as you call your name and all that. Maybe you might pick your thought on that. But make us solo solo and the 8th parliament so far. Yes, I see 93. Basis 30 years. Parliamentary democracy so far, so what?
So far, so good. Democracy, aboarding is a very expensive enterprise. Now, 1992-97. Now, I had a crunch period for the country Ghana, where an entirely or virtually one party dominating parliament. Yet, Oman Yenyo Mabia undermining the interests of the state as against the interests of that particular political group, like the NDC's Progressive Alliance group, Omu for Parliament of Ghana 1993-1997, and in fact they could have made certain laws, but they almost share Ghana and the opposition MPP who boycotted Parliament were also outside Parliament, and they were also mounting pressure, and most of their concerns were brought on board. Out of that, IPAC and other related establishment, though it is not backed by law, it has become very, very essential for our democratic deepening. Also, share 1997-2000. That was where Parliament became very, very exciting and fireworks. But amid all these things, you say minority will have their say and majority will have their way. Concept of democracy, which is presidential, or democracy, which is parliamentary, will have to end at that point. The pointer, the democracy under threat from the Parliament of Ghana was 2001-2005, where records and some activities of Parliament had some executive influence. There were some challenges at Parliament. A parliamentary record book, an aspect of a record of what happened in Parliament was torn off from the parliamentary record book, which was a very sad story for Ghana. The issue of Peter Alajete and the government of MPP, where the minority decided to file Peter Alajete as their nominated a Speaker of Parliament as against Speaker Bejina Sechi-Hughes in the 6th Parliament or the 5th Parliament. It was one of them, and it was a very scene to behold, where minority has nominated an incumbent speaker who has been relieved, and another one nominated. The minority nominates that speaker. In fact, it brought excitement and deepening of democratic culture in the country. Osambeshe, the issue of almost absolute. We used to have total dominance of Parliament. We have never had absolute a number in Parliament. When it gets to absolute, they can do anything without recourse to opposition. But that time, when MPP had 169 and 106 in Michael Queen-led Parliament, that was the time the beauty of Parliament went down. That was the time Parliament need ability to take on board minority concerns or your cry. So the next election occur parity Parliament by minority majority were having the same with the independent candidates who though was an MPP supporter. He came into Parliament as independent, and to date, it has been one of the finest moments of Ghana, where we are seeing how we can use our democratic institutions to checkmate institutions. This is the first time Parliament is playing its role devoid of bias. Electoral Commission sends an item to Parliament.
The CI will come to that.
Yes, and it was not routed through the proper channel, and minority rejects, and majority cannot say this is what we can do. In the past, if they were whether total or absolute, they could have said find a way of saying let's put it to vote. They know that when it goes to vote, it might even be worse. This is the time government in most instances consult minority on so many things government pedal here, because this is an hour without minority collaboration, things will not get done. Yem Bompai said going forward, no, you bring a very tight parliament where you bring quality parliamentarians as well. You may have the numbers, but you might not have quality, credible, and responsible members. If you have a tight parliament, members are there to pray truant and seek for their personal good instead of the national good, you will still not benefit from democracy.
So,
okay. Yenya parliament NDC MPP why neck and necky. Na say nyama woye no onyam faso magana na dia oye no faso ne ye nya parliamentarians so woye nimdiefo woye nkofo wo dwun wo enyim nyam wo dwun manga na ho na waye nhyehyɛ papa anu so mboa Ghana anti most at times yan hwɛ parliament ni ndwuma wedi ni mu ahin no aboa ma no certain laws are approved to them elder kind no nyama bia oden ka wotum wo ye na wodi table to do sa ban we ye man ye institutions organizations the judiciary and the government we now parliament no show order public accounts committee one juma wodia for 30 years yentu establish the tribunal component that will help parliament to sit as a full high court organization park ni na wia we pena adjudicator one on friend tribunal anamwa so no lawyer so we tribunal ana we the public accounts committee or so wonya atambuafo a odo kan se mo bo wie wo a obo hu de wonya ma ye no oya dwirimu no onya afin wado court wona odo otun we den what waso
that so wa wonim say no enya de a betimi
okay
no say enya establish ye because
on the main reason no say for 30 years me to me
enya simple sir because yeah mbra na e wo krom han very difficult. We say don't forget say that instances are auditor general's report conclusively what can say I will be a court challenge the court process court na dey on the day will say no way there I mean like instances be so my point is that it is going to be very difficult. It will have to be set up.
Yeah.
A set up I say Parliament can ya no na ya tebuafo na because that will not be possible. But the structures will have to be established so that to use due process.
So a due process because from there no we'll refer to that a tribunal or whatsoever now also I start the process
there will be something
so there so one more na onye there hona no one more capital punishment no but oban dem na obama auditor general's report no mu ayedu obama nkofo a wotena wa ma wobedu parliament and some wakere or responses same there some of them they don't even respond to queries given to them but in there hona look no edi agro wo wetum pa remind wa wo be ye wonyama ye oyade a siye ya obabua ma yetum na ya ye nyoma bi enti eka ni nya aboma fenyam ze onye na wo bi democracy na ye wo no
oye bebe da se solo na wati no enwumbre wo sanhwe no enwumbre 0550596929 0550567929 now just send us a text or a WhatsApp message menkop elder how me beside elder said elder so far people have said including the majority leader in parliament said numbers no say na echo nanim no ye 275 osusu say wo say yetimi cap no yemfa table bi ento so say oman a oman we yentimi enko beyond sa number we ya hwe ni yie ya ye ko enim 10 years bia population census na ye di bia kan ye be kwa akoduru empempe so bia be ba be too expensive for Ghana e bi nso so be it that's what arrangement ho eka 10 years population census we create more constituencies and I will review constituencies and all that no who the same
pacho no ejina botainti aye the creative constituency ena ho ena be man ye hu se eye se ye the cap betu ana se ye mani enkoso now the key reason ti aye creative constituency no about the development say ye be man development and I put to aba particular community inti say ye share there it doesn't matter whether ye pay say ye breaking say ye increasing numbers say ye person the development ko a particular constituency even if the numbers are huge we can devise so many means of generating income in that particular constituency because it is very expensive to create a constituency. The structures we have to put in place. Sisia, Parliament House now, almost say extra. They want to expand it by building a new crapono, a home basema. I think for now, no, table so is yet to be finally considered.
Because a bit more baby, I would say no, what the pillar no block. The Dabena may catch the eye of the speaker. Exactly. So, I mean, like
exactly.
Obviously.
And we share your constitution in so we share Senanyamani corner. We will continue to create constituencies. And sometimes
you support the idea that we should find a way to change it and cap it so that we can't go beyond a certain threshold.
I agree with that in a sense. The reason why I create constituency is about development. And if it's about development and they are yet creating constituencies, I am not crown no because most of the constituencies now yet creating no. We share the as area now. Who say there is no means that they can even generate revenue
for development.
For development.
Okay. So
the entire creative constituency, you know, and no but if because we want to add numbers to our side and not to other side, we want to create because we want to add more numbers to our side. Then because of that, then let's create. When a band is up, then a public personal pressure
abedaso. Pressure beba public person as solo sano hunana solo numbers 275. Are we too many or we should we reduce, maintain or increase?
Most na constitution akwaye no into there ye cap the majority leader Chairman Sabonsu osusunye no ya nyandam na yakade ye di constitution na chira obema wa be counterproductive na or their caps and the government has their creative Bibiatwa and Fabian Bakan ye the issue of Guan constituent district. There's now a district in the country that has no representative. And to come be I don't know going for no or there then you more representatives. You more representations or there new creation of constituencies with the EC's model of creating constituencies. So, such a means and as no akano. Yan fan jinado, Nian fan yambra. Nian kada, this is the last constituency ye creating. So, ye de ko 300, or 275. And yan cap at 300. Nian sanso share Supreme Court judges.
I want to see cap.
Yan cap no. Okay. Some of so a cap na be retirement, no replacement. Okay. I had man so aban bi ba. About so judges will go on when you want yajin. To them is for judges here then. Onye easy to maintain a Supreme Court judge.
Okay.
Onye easy. It is part of the cost, the consumption nature of government personnel. Onye easy.
So we should cap there, and then
executive so due to the current problem I facing, the average Ghanaian is calling for a reduction in the size of government ministers. Meaning that going into 2024 campaign decisions about it's about size of government they dominate power the nature of the economy, the size of economy, and among other things baba and to me ne Chairman Sana others will hold the
downsize the government system but here executive, legislature
and the judiciary
me that's me about chain democracy jumade and I would say I would see our Kessben Enyumbre yene elder tepe ene Solomon and Kansa etwetwen komo yenya ntie se Kumasi ewa Sante Mantem su atopa yi enti ama dua bi ebu esi Santase runabout ene danyame ekwan no ho nti ablock kwan no kra so motorists are price road and I say mo use sa kwan no mo pe alternative route se be ya mbetimi adodge side na fire service for so hwa na mo betimi akotu na wetimi akra sa dua no efiri ho na ama kwan na dem na wona wo fia akoye ne wo so akoye otimi akoye na wo se akoye na ye be call line so na ye ne Professor Kwaku Mensa Mauto, who is a pro vice chancellor UPSA. Ye no atwetwe nkomo e wo saa enkomodie ya ye ka ho asem e wo se ye be cap ana se yen cap ana se den yakɔhwɛ eno so ho ensem enwumbre. Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Prof, me majo.
Hey, Enya.
Na bom ti sen.
Adumara kwa.
Ayo, abusuafo nso
Pacho, adum ya.
With a quick one, ye di nkita ho kakra after 30 years of Ghana ye parliamentary democracy, fourth republic ya ye ba ye. Da ebia ka se ye koye nim, ebia ka se in terms of quality ni ade ne ye san ye chi, ebia ka se numbers no kra adoso ebe ya ye nti so, ebia ka se ye maintain no, ebia ka se ye koye nim kakra endu 300 ne ye nkapo no be me enko ye nim biem ene ne a ekeka ho. Professor Kwaku Mensa Mauto, Pro Vice Chancellor UPSA, ono so obeka esen.
But as many abe my na me chia nkrofo wo studio nyina. Em say ye din komache.
No credit.
Yeah. All right, sir, make my name in parliament parliamentary governance which started 30 years ago in the Fourth Republic. One could say when you get to a stage, you have to do an introspection of yourself. And I think it is very good, media, estimate is to say, we will do proper introspection to assess the performance, for the past 30 years, who achievement, yet me achieve your parliament. Any setbacks are, and also you face as a nation. Now, media normally they share achievement first. Say parliament, a damn pan a parliament. It me a year for the past 30 years. You create social constitution now. And my THS say a banner like lawmakers. Parliament, the constitution gives parliament the right to be the ultimate law, formulating wing of governance. Now, over the years, Nani and Ghana for power said there will be checks and balances, extremely check and balances, because Parliament and one or more formulating laws and also play the supervisory role over executives. And the American say, and you be a one. Has there been that check and balances? The effectiveness of the check and balances, and no, and you also beside home. Now, idea could be, say, Ghana for over the years has to do with the double standards. Our parliamentarian now also serving in government. Are also a member of the executive wing of governance. And no over the years, no amayati say like amemono engineer because it defeats the principles of check and balances. Me no him say the reason why provision no yet the mono was because of the majority vote to get government budget approved and government initiative approved. And it say we hear the numbers to get the business of government always going on, being executed. A classical example was the Lima Mrena on one crop for not $1 too much now. My budget coming to me are approving. But in the Fourth Republic, I think it played a role, but maybe you do know. I'm saying Ghana for democracy democracy in the sense we need to discuss issues devoid of partisan positions, especially issues I wouldn't say was a parliament but a number of parliamentarians play active role in the executive wing. When you are simple and say, maybe one of the issues are if anything in parliament, it does not encourage the issue of check and balances.
Prof, Mamim Bremotime, te wasem na si eya. Send your Ghana for be a cancer and Kayenya strict separation of powers. Nanko be a member of parliament on sign and serve as a minister. Na on sign so crampo and koda ebia board be a buyer creative or institution bisna nka on concentrate as a member of parliament na onye ne juma o house anka yensesa constitution na yen kono saa na.
And America say the position are even with the output of a lot of issues. And check and balances, no. And fast papa. We are lawmaker. According to we are judge. We are judge, no. We are judge. Look at the judiciary. What role do they play? They play the independent role. What about parliamentary? Parliamentary, you are there. The supervisory role. How do you supervise yourself? How do you supervise yourself? So you are the same person who is part of the executive wing. And now once now supervise. What does that mean? Nanka parliament die wonu medjuma ne say wo shemra wonu mu shemra na wonu mu make sure say the other wings are pursuing what they have been provided for in the constitution. Now say we anto here it is part and it's one of the major causes because in Ghana to me and derive that economic benefit from most of the bills we have been signing and Parliament is approving. So, let's look at some of the events. The current Parliament is who say number no ebe boom difference one pay. Number no boom no. What is happening now? A lot of bills Ghanaians have to. The government have to explain issues to Ghanaians very well. This is the closest we have come. The Fourth Republic. Parliament numbers, no, they're the same. The only difference is if anything, your independent person now, what pitch the seats to, if anything, the ruling party, but majority. The first time, majority, if anything, Speaker of Parliament is coming from opposition. It tells you, say, if for the past 2 years, governance is going on with such numbers, it tells you that a lot of it's possible. We've been able to overcome the era of Liman's predicament. Our Ghanaians can sit down and say that, look, we need to interrogate and engage ourselves and come out with a lasting solution instead of going partisan all the time. You will say in this particular parliament, Oshe budgeter, you could see the minority making sure, say, some of the issues, a critical example is e-levy. It was dragged to the extent, say, the government, the sitting government has to now educate and engage people, engage average Ghanaians to listen to the predicament of the average Ghanaian. Until then, Nankana majority award numbers now. Nanka e-levy passing a long time. It will have been passed long time. But it has to go through series of conversations and conviction before it was approved. This is the type of parliament we need in contemporary parliamentary governance. As I've mentioned to you, I was saying share the issue, the dual work also between members of parliament and the executives. Maybe a year. Nanka say if you just want to coordinate, the numbers should be capped. How can a minister play a supervisory role over one ministry now or team? According to also auditing home. So a member of parliament who is supposed to play a supervisory role in a particular ministry Prime Minister na operate on executive policies for them. No so abe supervising no. It's possible.
Okay. Prof, you better say, report you better not see studio. Now, I should say, a parliamentary democracy. The way forward, the Bebuy and Mupa Asia. Yene Prof. Kweku Mensa Mauto, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor, UPSA, na Atuchin Komo Enyumbre. Now, back to studio, parliamentary democracy. Says we are concluding on that one. Now we are coming to the CI Electoral Commission. They are koto embrace. But the balance no na elder na no egusa na or conclude on that issue. Edam wanusi na menko solo na embra CI Electoral Commission or the acordon parliament home.
Pacho efa parliamentary capping no.
Yes, now
pacho efa parliamentary capping ho no. Who say na aban from 1993 up to date no. Share every time bia ye be increase the number of constituencies no. Na I was say ye pe administrative office. I was say ye nya the municipal office and district assembly office. Na afi ye nhwe kwan ebe pa ye di development ebe ko ho. Inti uhwa anka constituency ni nyina ye baako no. Administrative office ni ye baako. Inti sika ye be se yesa ekwa akosei ana ye kwa hwehwe enye constituency nankasa omu revenue no mu generate na emo the consolidated fund national purse no yesa ko pay asase na yan create baby ayedi district capital municipal capital beko eno so hu sempi ye be wie no say yesi office we are ye be pay MCE ye be pay other offices eno so ye be ye disika na be ye sa at sky the yes animal wing no say young criteria and it will be used for other development in that existing constituency because you don't need an additional office to be able to bring development in this constituency needs to send there I can say car would create office for front you could have constructed road even schools ewo sa constituency no mono and can say na me chrome say school ewo hono mi senior high school you look senior high school say anka sika wo ho challenges are ewo ho nyina no they could have just used money to just develop and build get accommodation for them for me no it is time say governance I will say share the interest of the citizen decisions are taking. So what is the reason for creating additional constituencies? Say na wo kan share in parliament no dem time bia ye be create constituency. I will say ye ko pe kwan ye be fa so adjust in konya na marche bedwomu ho ntu hwe a konya no ebobom pa. Nti e ba sa na omo nipa na owo bag oti echi no say o concentrate you say ni constituency kra be ho say owo ho ana so ni hompo no ya na sometimes no e difficult. Nti no say ye ne sa na ebe save a lot of money ebe ma development and kansa sika no ebe ye de kwakọ ye offices no ebe kwakọ create offices no ye be the call development in the same constituencies the entire ehia say ye create no we rather think of how to generate revenue within that jurisdiction ebe boama and put to aba ho
me that see Zolo you have the final say on this one now concerns are eba and say parties dictate to members of parliament. The Professor Mauto Kasauso Okaye say Eda Sokra can say in a situation where in this 8th parliament MPs because of numbers or more taking decisions in the interest of one constituency in Ghana. But the trend be bar party whip say young party yes MPs na Saturday way boycott. There was say MPs boycott. Saturday way yes don't be part of it. There was some mobile. Is the trend worrying?
It's not that much. On how bebre. Nina say sisi ano hang parliament no. Obiali use ni bargaining tool. Na other shipping members ma why dia why expecting. But society, organizations and interest groups no there yeah, so you partake in the business of parliament. Established democratic countries now, there are organizations and groups are what sponsor and now what assist persons more for parliament, no can serve interests. And the environmental clubs and things no. Otunko onya obia or environmental activists now or parliamentar. He's championing that interest. There are lobbying groups. I once warrior the madnina. Eba Ghana have an democracy no lingina. No lingin baby where do see the MPP were the first to crack the whip. The mama one MPs in support to minority call for a censorship. Now the NDC has responded. The mama NDC MPs so will approve ministerial nominees are present either or the Abano. Now, is it going to be in the interest of the country or otherwise? One, in the NDC's case, I would say that it meets public expectation.
I want to say
one, the public are saying, say, are buying the expenditure, are buying cut. Are buying initially also are cut to about 30%. Now, are buying sansually DDE Pino, the domestic debt exchange program. No. Are buying into me about 85%. Ghana for I just to say means where the mamma. My just to say, Femi and Santem no, woman finds soon here, mamma, yen say. Is one so Martin Aban way trouble, yen ye boy ajatum. Now, what about the guase? Are buying car or bonoso on your kakotwa. Anna, a buy wa konya say. Obotuma nyamabia obabu Ghana. In the area say minister be also called the president na wafiwa. Minister be betuma acting. Chinsa ubaka say who nominate minister fufuro.
No, but a cabinet ministerial position. Na obi a resign na obi act from that time not to say you make on next election.
Just to save cost because of that someone in Ryan's regime. Oberasamoah acted as Minister of Justice, Foreign Affairs for a whole 4-year term at Marcia. And it didn't change anything. Until Professor Kwame also, local government and something. No, so acting. What does it change?
No, but Ghana for besides if sad then namu person ka then namu ko take part. The vetting process na mu wia party na ka say don't be part of the approval process.
Say one responsibility towards the Ghanaian. How they will partake in the vetting. But about the plenary voting now, what catch them mean vote too.
Then no Ghana I mathematical equation na ko en discuss. What take part vetting. If you approve and also you will not be part. And then so equals to
me MP. And me party ba. And a party watch MP for their one koye. Party penny for sisi amen count. And to me nim media what show answer there. One koye a vetting. No, we are one withdraw, another one withdraw from the word go now one to another them. And my minimum say there 1 year in minimum now koye vetting. Saubaka Yakubu Kumsin and others in the early days of 2021 no so an NDC member be on him the Alcodra so kaka na the MPs obufu you know. This time round no, I think that if they have breached the party's advice and partner are complaining.
And I start trend na ekoso no we are worried.
In fact, it's a cause for concern in the sense that, say, Niama bi wo ho a, I was say, no with a very objective mindset. 2 of the ministerial positions, trade and agric, are cabinet positions, and they are very sensitive ministries. We can't take it out of our governance process. The reason why the minority made that comment is the size of government is too large, so reduce it, which is a call that all of us are making. In fact, we don't need anyone to come from outside to come and tell us that the size of government is too large, and so let's reduce it. But whilst we are thinking of reducing the size of government, we should also look at the sensitive ones that we can't do without. And agric and trade are very sensitive, we can't do without them. However, if we want to do it the way the minority is asking, then we should look at reducing others or consolidating others, and then bring in the ones that the ones that are very important. I don't subscribe to the other ministers that were, nominated, like Minister of State, because you see, when it happens like that, then I say we are not actually looking at the impact of the ministry on the national purse. The issue of the minority saying that they will not participate in the approval process, but they participated in the vetting process. If you uti omu ye pa, and many omu ya adwin dia chechemu omu di baye, that is the deputy minority leader Honorable Ama Kofi Boa. All can say instead say those ministries, cabinet, agric, any trade, instead say ombe take you out, or see, take other ministries out, reduce other ministries, and then let these ones go. I think it's a fair point, because these are ministries we can't do without. So he found a bit to me afford. You see, the entire difficult. Emma or Mampeni say, "Beba sape obi ejuma bebono." And I want to say, what political leadership, you have to prepare for any eventuality, and because apart from the fact say, Richard for Beckham, 4 years so the best one day you go out of power, and now uba be serve inti edrum pempe so a ehu hia say utwi uhu a ana say ukọ wichi kakra e say utumi gather that courage, and no na very difficult for us say ye betumi aye, then that is what is disturbing now. Ebeye very much bad say obi every or mindful for us so mo be catch ye e put pressure on us and sana yetumi aye ba no sampe na ko to say the capability of we managing our own affairs, now I say we are rather good at managing people's affairs and people's businesses than our own. The call to reduce the size of government, I wish the president will reconsider that. We will relook at that and then see where consolidate some of the ministries are.
Okay. But as we look at the NDC opens nominations for presidential parliamentary elections. Please note that constituency is created based on population. Also, at the vetting level, they are interested in their certain allowance. No name attached to this one. Now we say you are the best. Okay, no name. Please, next time let's have your name attached to your comment. Now this one says, good evening to you, lawyer. This issue is not about a recap or reducing government size, but there should be total change of the constitution. Ajay from Mampong sends us his thoughts on this all critical important issue. Okay. Now this one says, I am Lawrence Boache Buche at Esenua Asorum Quantania Unity Oil Filling Station. Good evening to you, lawyer. It's my prayer that our Nigerian brothers and sisters will have a peaceful general elections. Greetings to Honorable Boachi Ejako a former energy minister. He says, just read few messages and then we'll back to the studio. This one says they sit for money, not for vertical, not for Vietnam, I suppose. I am Eric. Messages the manager completed so that it will convey the meaning you want it to be conveyed. The 30 years of parliamentary doesn't need any creation, but rather contemporary governance, and also not chewing of papers and punching brews in parliament. Okay, this one says, Eddie from Sunyane, this parliament is full of politics. For me, this was parliament. This one says, for better tomorrow, Solomon Kansa and his NDC will stay in opposition forever. Government will come. Trying to connect the dots. The people in the NPP party always think they are wiser than every Ghanaian, but it is time the youth of Ghana have to stand up for the right thing to be done. Your name is not also attached to this, your message. This one says, I promise. Okay. Unfortunately, the other part of the message, we cannot read them, trying very hard to make sure. Okay, so let me come back to the studio. Now, so what we nominations?
Yeah.
Presidential, parliamentary.
Yes.
Now what pick for Nobia?
Nabi, may support to Dr. Dufo.
Oh, okay. You're supporting Dr. Kwabena Dufo?
Yes.
For the presidential?
Yeah. Okuda ne ekopike ya form. Na oye fine pa. That's 20, yeah. Na maokoba ni de wobi no 16 chairman bi. Regional chairman for Okofama candidate JDM. And Ashanti regional and Eastern and some parts. Branch chairman, branch secretaries, women groups, and whatever. So, what kind of was about pick Dr. Dufo, because he has 16 regional chairmen, but there are 37,000 branch chairmen. There are 275 constituency chairmen, and so the regional chairman, one officer, baby over Konya. I want what to jam war branch war. And when him ja or she won't fa. Say what your party Juma. Or beyond dream one. Dr. Dufo President late Mars. And I was dream on what the Heroes Fund die. Heroes Fund nagu. And to obey Juma in the line of party work na opera na se bituna. Only Bibia. And Dr. Dufo sounds a thing chain. And all the auto project or the aba hwe ye won kofo bi o a wotum di parties ka koye djuma na wo ye no mu di watam anaso oba no chop mon no de akoye party djuma na nukuna ebrimu no na sende onu wenya papa otinchen na odi PA systems, plastic chairs, canopies odi akoma constituency said the obeya constituency ko ekrobia se akoye meeting na nkonya niwa onya organizer ni bottom odi nkonya bogu pick up odi akoye odi aba oba na waye mini rally onya fen what to eska odi rent PA system, and the PA system 1,000 plus going at the rent you se branch ni bi no watch no now how be benefia our first set of canopy 100 chairs a PA system obetuma akosre o party wo party de be mamod be na ya almost 1,000 3,000 be free no akọ anti branch for na hu say penny bia yini tira odwene ya ho anti regional chairman for soro a one ka ho na ya telephone one dey yeah Dr. Dufo And that is the reason on Wednesday, no, and Babruno will rally around Gloria Uze. And who is Gloria Uze? Who the Okumasun Pa? This is a lady, ne papa, we as a constituency chairman, Joso. You know, in those days, to become an NDC chairman in a Joso, that's the rural part of Ashanti region, you know, easy. Ne mami, also we as NDC constituency treasurer. Ne younger brother, you know him, George, who's a current Joso constituency secretary. Gloria American asked him, what the constituency women's organizer, parliamentary candidate, Ejoso, deputy regional women's organizer, 2-term women organizer. It tells you, say, I want a party in the Wakumado. One bra party in the bre. And then Kumasia. You were MPP boys, I want them Kumasia. What the NDC for them? Me the madam for the mama and yen this na me pay. You understand? A lot of people feel say they need a certain degree of discipline and a certain culture of respect. To them, this is grassroots.
So, we need rules and regulations regulate more parliamentary, presidential. Maybe so way because I was party chairman our own regional level.
Yeah.
So we can nomination form and they are a candidate. Now one so others so ne one branch and constituency for so we can for another candidate. Unyi say right from the beginning I'm about so now and them I'm sure you be some.
Executive no guidelines are what the ban say. Who bet me I support to be about won't me commit the structure or the party system to anybody. Okay. And the ones as some run up and they on our day.
Okay.
Now then they are making share I less depth was introduced by J.A. Morse and Dr. Kobna Dufour. Now, after 2012, and I less depth Oguye. Yezdek Oguye. Satmasi. Heroes Fund was introduced by Dr. Kobna Dufour and late Morse. After 2012, and a Heroes Fund Oguye. Until average NDC branch executive, average NDC activist, none that don't have it. Because yet to abandon a man more, young body a better NDC phone qua, yapasi a better man. No mom is Shabia our party anymore. To me, bois party banner. On the party ban so didn't need to so no ye Juma. Share a minya utiemi. Dr. Kobna Dufour.
Ube campaign.
Minya campaign. Ebisama abasem.
Maybe so like nomination fees, timelines.
Okay, no, Martin, Mamma call. And Ceciano, one for bulletin be by my young the number who have.
Okay.
But I know there for presidential, as of last Friday or Yandrano. Now, Nipanai and I would do one Nkofwako.
Okay.
Headquarters. I call nomination form. Oh, yeah. Candidate JDM, candidate Kojobonsu, candidate Kodria, and then candidate DKD. That's Dr. Kobna Dufour.
Okay, baby, somebody might come back to you. Mami call Elder Hona, me beside her. That's if ordinary ADHR. Elder, are you following the opening of nominations for presidential parliamentary for the NDC?
But you mediate. Now, I said with the mechanic. Now, I think that with the party, if you ask them now, I was so moody or move them now. But I did back when I was the I was someone who said, when I build up to the major elections in 2024, and whoever wins need the larger party to, be behind. And so whatever you are doing now, if you are doing it in the interest of you and your core followers, when you finish, at the end of the day, it's the larger party that you need on board to go ahead to be able to win the election. And so who are you bringing on board? That should be their guide, say. We should do it devoid of any divisive tactics. Chese, the ebeya edi mpapemu bebano. Ana division ya kana say what you mean.
No mpapemu.
Ebebano. I was say man yem kache ye chita for ne say uko jina radio su ana public na say ukasa men kasa ntia wo fellow candidate ana wo opposing candidate at the end of the day if you win you can't go back for reconciliation. I think say Adiba Kwan also NDC hwe ni say akoye say omuhu sade ne done deal. In the 2024 no matter what they will win. Now if you are going
then done deal the presidential elections
no?
For 2024.
So
done deal for the NDC.
For the NDC. They are seeing the primaries for the presidential and they say that's the main election. Because whoever wins will win the national election. That is their mindset. Because I'm also say, you see, in politics, you look at where you gain more political capital. And until we share the echoes of my name is ana. It clear say NDC has advantage of campaign message. And into know they are in hurry for 2024 to come tomorrow.
But the bet me answer.
That is it. A bet me answer. And that is why I was so who say, whilst they are gathering messages for the current economic challenges are here facing for campaign, whatever they do now also will also go against them after the primaries, because that is the bigger picture. What they are going through now is in-house fight. It is a ukun ewo fie. Now pesa odi ufie ntokwa no epi abontia. Obi abehu tokwa ko awokun na de nti awokun. E odi enu a be ya campaign etiawo. Nti se obi pese oma obi unse the party has been there for years. And these same people have been following the party. Na se ene usi ahunche aba. Na se obi aba se obeba be relieve mu of sa ahunche no. Now because of that akoye banter. At the end of the day it will be a very bad campaign message for them. Until you are creating negative campaign message for yourself with the kind of nyama yes is here. If you want to become a president, go ahead and tell the people why you want to be president. Put your message across. The entire opposite oba ye to abama no kind no your candidate now who oppose no who oppose no be say who di benya who vote e wo party nemo nemo say who we are Ghana for e never be to aba. For me advice I mean the bema NDC ni say we ye efie ntokwa na say wo hu ofie ntokwa kun yi a how ne betu e wa bonti ana asem betu wa bonti efre say obi abe hu ntokwa ko a okun nti say omo pese obi abe hu ntokwa ko omo kun e wa bonti de ene so mu ko she omo dem na omo kun ntokwa na omo kunu yi especially
enye obvious ebeba be ye street banter between Dr. Kwabena Dufo and JDM former president. It's
obvious, and in fact nobody can take it I mean away from that. The fight is between ex-president John Dramani Mahama and then Dr. Kwabena Dufo. And you see, the late Sir John said, "Fear delegate." Delegate need there. Obet you. Who is cannibal obeje? obe promise so obe vote ama na
oduru
ha ena result no be che say inkrofo yi omo di mabra na say omo ayam nti I think say it should be a calm contest, and it should be contest of ideas and contest devoid of acrimony and then division, but it should be with constructive ideas and issues are ebe boa inkrofo na opesa udi omo enim no na mo enko ye on the opponent unini kwa kokun for the same purpose.
Akasima enso na jumadi no de ba na wie nkakra solo
elder na advice no man imagine do na ma susu ama the camp of candidate JDM
speak to the microphone
the candidate JDM there omun hwe na omun tu omun MPP friends listo well bobi enkofu the verbal attacks on the person of Dr. Kobna Dufon may cause the first camp to also respond on board NDC.
And na maybe as a leadership no nya guidelines bi ebe.
No, this is not NDC leadership problem. Okay. This is a campaign camps problem.
Okay.
You understand? NDC leadership luntum betro say me encode you biatem. What they to one more kwan the yenye campaign. Anti-campaign one more kwan the yenye no. One also who concentrate to campaign on issues that will help the NDC delegates. On your track record that ayabwa the NDC delegate. Now we are not talking about Ghana. We are talking about the NDC delegates and who can best govern the country. Inti ubakacho obi say obi eko wies kawo Unibank they akosie himfa na dia. You are not helping the party. And these are people who go NDC lose election upon election. And NDC is not learning. And that is the reason why we see a leadership. Because what's in there? Nipa nyina siye na betuma adwen anka parliament ni wo. Because the Ghana phone na yentum kwasha parliament. You will take leadership to go and plan for us. And so when a certain leader comes and his leadership breeds contempt and other things to the party's rank and filer. Sure. There are another group also. What's our platform be so? And now what the attempt?
Okay, don't repeat it because who repeating na
that be me kono na won so me tu onfo say won this is the time so credibility o enyimnyam bi o party ma won be di anim won be campaign na won ja say wo she baby na wo di nkofo atam sami ametra say ma men come dey what say am NDC party ma me 200,000 say me fan ko e bibi me pocket. I want to challenge those people that they should come out. Say me be a national communication officer. If NDC ever gave me money more than 20,000, that money the person is saying was 20,000 at Sunyani NDC. Obaka Kessben reporter crowd ninya issue when I gave that person 200 cedis. You understand? I told them there I can only give them 200 cedis. But you can't go and say somewhere and lie upon me. What do you want me to say? The fact that I support Dr. Dofono does not mean there or say there but we are promising this, that much as they insult, we will not insult back. Okay. But we will go by the issues. Like I have said, if you have a product, now product will start to decline, you have to either replace it or rebrand it. You can choose to come and tell us what you want to say.
What can I say again on this? To advise Ghana for you, we need democracy. So and reflect. Say
democracy. But change is somehow difficult, but it is inevitable.
Okay.
Yes.
A quote from Solomon Cancer. A change is very difficult, but they see the vitamin says Solomon and Cancer and your brain.
Change is coming. Movement for change within. We are changing within because we have to win 2024 and we have to change for better future for the party and for country.
Solomon Nkansa, former National Communication Officer for the NDC, and what you know in Yumbre. What you elder Yumbre, elder, your time na so I don't know. 1 minute, your final word for 1 hour what you watch in Yumbre.
But my final words are Becca Eddie Bessie IMF Jumedi Niso. Say, Oshe Pempeswa Yadu Susiana is like a crossroad for Ghana. Very difficult, very, very difficult for Ghana now. We were expecting, say, like IMF will get approval by the end of March. Now, China external debt restructuring is very important and critical to the Ghana, to the country securing the IMF deal. No? Now, Oshe Susiana, China, almost just a March ending. Honor. In the delegation, I can call no money or more tenancy. I can debt no one seven no. And basso no more. I share March ending, March later. This is say, Omeba back no, you will miss the deadline. Now, say Ghana miss the deadline for IMF program to come on by March ending. Or my assem kase pa betu ye. On pai say, Chishebi Ghana for ye. Na ebe chere say you bet me anya akonya ye free IMF no mesre for no yen koso abon paye na ye be ma aba every say omani to for ma once I wo Ghana nko ani de ebe kan that's it.
Well, on that note, it's unfortunate time and call into that issue, but I promise you another opportunity will be there to discuss that IMF the external creditors issue. You better elder tepe asepa Nyumbre. You better Solomon Cancer asepa Nyumbre. When I was said Jumadi, the producers of the show, that one asepa ye wa wa mushe yenda munyina sema kra munyankopon aduma na wo chese na yebesomo democracy Jumadi eso.
Living in the world, my sister, but you live in this world. You living in the world, mama.